start.
Ride DTO, good to go. Welcome to another episode of You Can't Make This Shit Up. Your host, David Washington, Joel Hawksley. I hear coins falling out of your wallet, so please make sure you check your pockets, make sure you check your wallet, strap it together, because here's an episode we got for you. Another money waster as far as, okay, never mind. Calling all downtown Orlando residents, workers, and visitors. This fall, a brand new way to get around town is rolling in. Let's see. If you ride DTO, okay, I know you're saying, what the hell is DTO? It's the on-demand electric shuttle service that will pick you up and drop you off exactly where you need to be within downtown Orlando's Community Redevelopment Agency, DTO area. Now, we'll have to show you a map of that eventually, but whether you agree or disagree, I've already kind of revealed my position.
Right.
I am a protector of your wallet, people, and I think, before we move this, you got links, right?
There's links in the DTO area, the downtown community redevelopment area. My understanding is pretty much the core business district, but that could be as far as maybe Colonial Route 50 on the north. On the east, maybe McGuire. On the west, maybe as far south as Gore Street or Michigan. And on the west, maybe as far as OBT. I don't know for sure, but we can get that information for those of you who are interested.
Well, the question then is Morgan & Morgan going to be using it to get to work?
I don't know. Like he was about to say, there's a Link service, bus service, free rides. And I was downtown recently. I had to drive downtown because I was coming from an event. And, the bus driver took a break, had a cigarette. And, I see I did count about 4, 5 people on the bus. And I'm thinking, okay, where's the crowd? And I rarely see the buses full. I rarely see the buses 3/4 full. I rarely see the buses 1/4 full. And these other free buses, I go around in the downtown area. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is, for $1. However,
well, wait a minute. I can get a free bus. I can get a free bus downtown, get air conditioning in this freaking horrible heat that we got right now.
Yeah.
And I can take that bus, or I can pay $1 for air conditioning in an electric bus.
Right. I'm still trying to, I'm a little confused. Like, it's on-demand convenience. They said no need to wait for a bus or hail a cab. You just request a ride through this Circuit app and pick it up, drop off, get picked up, get dropped off at your doorstep, all for $1. And I'm thinking, okay, so let's say I'm downtown and I want to go home to Baldwin Park. Is that within?
No, that's outside.
That's outside.
Yeah, I would assume that's outside the DTO.
So what use is it?
I would assume, because that's Uber service. The DTO will get you connected to an Uber, I guess.
Why does the city do
I don't know,
anything?
David.
You got the Swan little autonomous bus shuttle going around and around Creative Village where there's really no one. And why?
Oh, the one that had the accident like the next day.
Right. Why do they do this?
because they have your tax dollars at their disposal,
Yeah.
and they want to test failed projects on your dime,
Yeah.
not on somebody else's dime. Listen, if I'm a big business, I am laughing at you all the way because I'm going, yes. Listen, they bought my shit, man, and they bought it. Like this city's gonna really buy it, and you know what? It's just Uber on on print paper.
And I
Like
thought they
that's like
were
bringing the
trying
newspaper.
to
That's like bringing the
make
newspaper back and saying you can't access it on the
right.
internet.
I thought they were trying to make this city more walkable, and I
Oh no, they don't want it walkable because it's the highest hit. It's the highest uh, hit and run rate. You know, with
right.
pedestrians and bicycles, and when they should
We
be really investing in protecting our pedestrians
right,
and our
right. When remember there was a big push for the electric scooters, and those things were all over the place. It was a proliferation of these uh, scooters, and not so much anymore that I see. I think they bring them out more during the weekend, but I
well, they have
mean,
to collect
people
them now.
zipping. I mean, coming fast,
Remember, they
zipping
used to be
through
able to park
traffic.
them all over the place.
Right, not
Now they
anymore. There's certain
now,
areas
now
that
they
are designated.
now they pay somebody to collect them. But the guy that was trying to get the one out of the pond, that was you know.
And then
Drink and
there's
driving. It's a new way to drink and drive.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I was downtown on the July 4th weekend, and I see some folks on the scooters, and I'm thinking, first of all, they're going way too fast. And second, they look like they have a little bit too much to
I don't
drink.
like the fact that I don't like to shave my sidewalks.
Yeah,
Listen, Florida, it's not a law, but like in Massachusetts, you cannot be on my sidewalk
hmm
on a bicycle. You hit me in a sidewalk, I get irritated. If I'm walking along and somebody screams at me that they're coming, that's fine. But when you like scream at me like I need to move out of the way, you know,
yeah, on the sidewalk.
it pisses me off.
Yeah,
The sidewalk was created for pedestrians because we have to walk with against traffic,
right.
and you're a motor vehicle. You're a motor vehicle.
Right.
No matter how you power it.
Oh, see, now you
I
get
got the
Mayor
call
Buddy
again.
Dyer calling you.
I don't understand.
You
Like I
say,
had it on
why are
silent.
you complaining about my sidewalks
No, it was
and my initiatives?
it was FD. It was FDOT. It was saying
Now
they
they're
were saying
coming
that
at me.
the rule is that we provide, even though we provide that extra space on the side of the road for bicycles, it's much safer for them to be on the sidewalk because we're in Orlando where pedestrians and bicycles are the most
Oh no.
vulnerable in our city. So yeah, FDOT wanted to give me a warning that I have to make sure there is a site where you can actually take a test and see if you understand the rules.
We're using the electric
About
bicycles and
on the rules,
scooters.
right? Like how to ride a bicycle, how to do
If I could post
how do you turn it?
election
If the
signs.
person uses the left hand and they signal down, what are they doing? They're stopping. If they hold it up and the middle finger is extended, typically they're giving the bird. They're not really taking a left hand turn. Listen, nobody even learns the rules anymore. They just get a bicycle and they go ride it anywhere. I had a guy drive right towards my daughter the other day. She was driving,
Right.
and he had one of those bicycles with a motor in it,
Yeah.
and he zips right across the middle of the street, and my eyes
Yep.
open up, and I'm
They do that.
my heart stopped like
Uh-huh.
the whole beat, and she's like, "Did he have a suicide death
It
wish?" And
seems
I'm
like
like,
they do.
"I guess he did because he didn't care about anybody else."
There are two things about this ride DTO. First, in their press release, it say that they will operate every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., giving us 10 hours of hassle-free travel. Yes.
Wait.
8 to 8. There's these mysterious 2 hours that are missing in this 12-hour period.
It's because you're only paying $1. There's 2 hours. David, I've never been good at math, but I think that a.m. to 8 p.m. is
It's
12
12
hours.
hours. And then also it says in the press release that this initiative, which makes Ride DTO so awesome, boasts making it easier to get around, meaning more support for the amazing businesses in downtown Orlando, the ones that are left. And who's going
Told you Morgan and Morgan. Fair. How about Bogan Muns and Muns? I mean, they're all in the area. So lawyers can get to the courthouse now. They don't have to pay for parking.
wait. Now, is the courthouse within the DTO catchment area?
I'm saying yes.
I'm thinking no.
I'm saying yes.
Because if that's the case, the courthouse is just south of.
The thing is, look at where Morgan and Morgan, guys.
Right.
If you know where Morgan and Morgan's building is, and you know where the courthouse is, I mean, you could be like,
this ain't right.
You could literally just start sweating by the time you got to the courthouse.
I mean, that area is so walkable. I mean, unless you're coming from, the
Bogan,
other side of the division.
Bogan, Muns and Muns, it'd be great for them.
I guess.
Because they're on the corner, like they're on the corner, so they have to go at least a mile to get to the courthouse.
Well,
and at $1, that's cheaper than the dollar store nowadays.
But by the time you get there, you could have walked the same distance and get there sooner.
I mean, you can't get anything at the dollar store, Dollar Tree for $1 anymore. So I mean, this is a great deal.
Jesus.
It's the dollar they're focused on.
So they're
not focused on the 2 hours that they're missing.
So this is for the affluent class in downtown Orlando, where if they want to leave their skyrise apartment to go have brunch at the Delaney over there, Creative Village, they can do that for $1 because the parking is a ripoff. You could. I don't get me started with that.
Did they in the press release? Did they tell us how many there are? Because if 6 people all put the app at the same time, how does it prioritize which one of us gets to go first?
And how many electric cars are available?
Well, because if there's 6 of us and there's only 4 cars,
it's just one car.
It's probably one car and has to make 6 trips, and it's going to sit there and go.
Why can't they just improve downtown where it brings in more retail businesses, shopping, attractions? Because right now there's very little reason to come downtown, except if you work there.
There's lots of reasons to come downtown.
What's that?
Pay your fines. To make sure that you come and do your tags or. City Hall is very accessible. I mean, because if you have a violation, but I mean, come on, any reason to come see Buddy Dyer, that's important. Like anything to get you to go to the courthouse,
right?
To get you to go to City Hall,
right?
I'm ready to pay $1 to pay my fine for $50. So I end up $51 instead of $50.
So we can have lunch at the tavern across the street, because I'm sure that side of the southern side of Colonial.
No. Bogan Muns and Muns is down there, so it's going to be good.
Okay, so it's in the catching area.
I would say it's going to be in the catching area.
All right, so we can call, get a Ride DTO vehicle to take us down to the county commissioner's
Let's ask
office.
if College Park could be part of the DTO.
I think that's kind of valid.
It's like right on the border right there.
But maybe, I can see an
maybe David, if I had a court date and I went to the courthouse and my thing's been dismissed, I could then take and get to Parr Street through this thing and maybe go to the golf course. Dubs Dreb might be in there too.
Now you're really stretching. You're really stretching to get there.
And
Baldwin Park has to be in
Then I want to go to the Science Center,
or the you're really stretching it.
So maybe we can stretch it.
But it would be smart instead of just downtown, but it's in the redevelopment area. But it makes sense to stretch it out too, connect the museum campus, to connect it to Baldwin Park. I mean, sometimes we're considered downtown anyway, or connected to the executive airport.
I always
Um,
wanted to ask this question.
okay.
Now, my very first visit, my very first visit down here, the one thing that fascinated me as a teenager uh, was the monorail. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. It gets around at a certain level. It doesn't interfere with any traffic.
Right.
It was the best system I could ever think of. It must be the worst maintenance in the world because I just couldn't believe that a city like Orlando, and we're always having trouble going, you know, east and west,
Yes.
that we wouldn't have something like that coming from the campus, UCF,
Right.
straight
Right.
into downtown.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
since you could, like, right along 50, you could have a monorail that goes from one campus to the other. And then if somebody with big bucks wants to pay for a stop, they could pay for a stop and you could have a partnership on this thing. But think about it, a monorail straight to campus, downtown, get you from east to west.
Hmm.
I guarantee you, a lot of people be driving that because I can't stand going down 50.
Right. Yeah. It's difficult. You know, this service is supposed to start in what is it in the fall, and it said
It won't get in the way
download
of
the
it.
download the Circuit app, and I'm looking at the looking for the Circuit app. I'm not really finding it. Circuit Transit. However, I think we should again, like we were going to do with the Swan service, or the not the Brightline service, but the Terminal C at the airport. We should maybe do like a live reaction on using this service and try to figure out what it's all about. But first of all, defining the city's community redevelopment area here in the downtown Orlando, I think it will give us a better idea of where exactly this service is going to cover.
I just hope it covers that extra 2 hours that's missing.
Yeah, amen to that. I mean, a little more detail. I mean, this is theoretically,
Because nobody
August.
could say, I just want to know who wrote the press release, who approved the press release, because that's beautiful. I mean, that is beautiful.
Hey, welcome to Florida. Welcome to Orlando.
Everything's done in fives and tens. Must be somebody from Europe.
I'm trying to find
You
a
can't
little bit more
download the
information here.
you can't download the app yet.
No, you can't. You can't. I tried. You can't, folks. You can't. I'm looking up.
Or how about when you download the app to pay for parking, and the app is having trouble, and you're going, how am I going to pay for this? And you can't use the
Right.
chain or your card on the machine anymore,
Oh,
and you're like, the app's not
okay.
working, and now I'm going to get a ticket because I'm on an app. Or how about somebody, little grandma comes downtown to go pay her, violation, code enforcement violation because her car was sitting there too long and the grass grew around it.
Yep.
And,
Mm-hmm.
because that's how they enforce things around here. And she gets downtown and she goes to park and she goes, takes out her change and she goes, it doesn't take change. Then, no, well, maybe she does have a credit card. So she goes to use the credit card. She swipes it and it doesn't do anything.
So hot mess.
And then they go, I say, oh, you gotta download the app. And she says, I have to go all the way home and get my landline telephone to get online.
Uh-huh.
Yep. We're moving so fast in technology. I'm sure there's nobody behind like that.
Since you bring that up, I want to bring up the ambassador system.
My buddy sent me a check.
For
my
campaign. Okay.
Stamp, envelope, check.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very good.
I'm going, oh, that's great.
Okay.
Yeah. What about him? If he goes downtown and he doesn't use He doesn't use technology.
Oh, he's walking it. He's going to drive down there. He's going to park for 2 hours for $50, and if he doesn't get back to his car in time, then that's another $50.
If it's not towed,
That's crazy.
it's like there's some people out there that still do things the old-fashioned way. So
Joe, they've got this. So I'm on the actual site, and they've got this spreadsheet, not spreadsheet, PowerPoint, and they're talking about highly connected neighborhoods and districts. And I'm trying to figure out the presentation is just it's hard to read because it's all these graphics and colors, and it doesn't really tell me which neighborhoods. A lot of fluff here, but it doesn't tell me which neighborhoods are in the area in the district. Just a lot of fluff, a lot of fancy pictures of AI generated art, and it makes it looks like a whole different city. But I'm looking for a map, and it really doesn't tell me exactly what the district is, and some really nice pictures of places that don't even exist anymore. They have a picture of a place that doesn't even exist anymore. Let me just leave it at that.
well, they've been working on this for a long time. That's why it costs $1. It was probably 25 cents when they started it.
They got old picture of Buddy Dyer because this is definitely not Buddy Dyer. This is Buddy Dyer, 50 pounds lighter, and then Mayor Teresa Jacobs. This is old, and it just doesn't tell me, a map. Just show me a map. And it's just another, you know, piece of AI generated art. Everything's fluffy. Everything is incredibly clean. But we'll check this out.
And
The ambassador program. They pay folks to walk around with these nice vests that say, DTO ambassador, downtown ambassador, and they're there to, I guess, provide information which a map on a street pole can provide, or try and play interference between tourists and the homeless. I mean, I don't know. Orlando has so much potential.
yeah, why is it $1? We trying to keep the homeless out of it.
The homeless will be using it. If I was the homeless, I'll be using it all the time.
Yeah, for
Air
$1.
conditioning, yeah.
No, I'm using a free ride.
Hey, good point. Free ride
I'm gonna
kickoff.
use the Lynx free ride.
It's air conditioning.
This
Just
air
ride all
conditioning. I'll
day.
ride that as long as I can.
Exactly.
And then when somebody says I smell really bad and I have to get off,
Get off and maybe have lunch.
go to YMCA.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, you can't go to YMCA.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Go to Buddy's house.
There you go. Buddy's house.
Because
nice house.
he's been there for so long. He's fixed this problem. We don't have a problem with homelessness anymore.
We don't. 25 years. He's fixed it. He's fixed homelessness. I'm proud of him.
And I'm sure he could be mayor of the 10th city too.
The mayor of Simpleton.
You can't make this shit up. We have a DTO coming to a rideshare program that's coming down to some part of our city with no map. We have no idea. That only works from 8 to 8, and they think it's 10 hours. And you can't make this shit up, guys. This has been a great episode. Please like, please share. Please, if you have something to say that's positive about DTO, if you have something negative, bring your facts, not your feelings, because listen, everything we've talked about here is how missing, T's crossed and I's dotted can create a whole lot of hell. But if you're ready to pay $1 to go wherever they think you want to go,
I swear, if it does come out this far, we're gonna pay our dollar, go downtown. Yeah, exactly.
Hey,
I get in the car
instead of just going over here to the local Gators. We can go to the tavern.
Go to the tavern, go downtown. I'm all for it. $1.
$1 to get downtown. That's
exactly.
Great.
Electric vehicle.
I mean, Uber's only about $13.
15 minutes. I wouldn't walk. Keep the money in my pocket.
I'm just saying, David. if it wasn't like as hot as it is right now,
Woo!
my typical walk is from where your place is.
Yeah.
So Baldwin Park, I would get down to 50, and I would get all the way over to the Longhorn. Would
Oh
be a
yeah.
that'd be a typical walk. I'd probably
Yeah.
be able to go to Chinatown. Is it Chinatown or
I
Koreatown?
thought I,
They call it
yeah,
Is it
yeah, I
Koreatown,
don't
Chinatown?
know. I call it
Viet, Viet,
Southeast
Viet,
Southeast Asia area
yeah,
because there's
it's a lot of different
everything.
Asian there.
Yeah. I don't
You
know
can get
what
some
they call
pho.
it.
You can get
Mills
some
50.
yeah,
Let's say.
Mills 50. Well, Mills 50 is kind of really
I know, but it seems safer to say
the
Mills.
gay community kind of owns that area.
I thought that was more like I know
The
Thornton Park.
Guys, we need it. We want you to educate us on the downtown
Please.
because you got Soto,
Right.
and Soto's pretty easy. I
Yeah.
understand Soto, and then you have Mills 50,
Mhm.
which I understood to be more of the Asian and the gay community in that. Is it Thornton Park though? Maybe
Thornton
you're right.
Park, yeah, Thornton
Yeah.
Park. My understanding.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to learn the downtown areas because you know what? I live in Seminole County. If you're ever in the area and you looking for a place to live, you got some beautiful areas up there. It's a lot
Castleberry.
cheaper. It's a lot cheaper to live there. Come on to Castleberry. You know, we have a great city there. Um, yeah, I'm just wasting time. Like, share, please be involved. Feelings are very important, but bring your facts when you have your conversations. Tell us what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, and maybe just become a member of our
Community.
informer, and
Yeah.
you know
The
get
Informer
the
newsletter.
get the newsletter, or maybe you'll be interested in the innovation that we have here with our lead generation and everything, and you become part of our young kids, right? Our young adults that are interested in
Our
politics
associates.
and get part of United Voice, or become part of the Leadership Academy and get yourself ready to become a active citizen activist.
All right. We'll see you the next time. We are J in Washington Network. We are your political innovators, and we appreciate that you are part of our community. Ubuntu, we'll see you the next time. Bye.
No map, all guesswork. The date's wrong.